I was going to ask you, sorry to interrupt,
no
is there like a history behind Idea-ology, like some kind of funny story that
No, not at all. It just became, when I teamed up with Advantis, I initially went to them for storage when we did the storage tins. And of course those have retired since then due to cost increases, but they were really known for kind of importing. And that's the greatest thing. I've worked for Ranger for 7 years. Ranger is a family-run company out of New Jersey. All of our inks and paints are made in New Jersey. So it's been fun to kind of work with them, but without any surfaces to put the stuff on, what are you going to do with it? So Ranger's really allowed me to go branch out and team up with companies I feel have an edge in the industry. So I would actually go to like Stampers Anonymous to do my stamps, and you know, I wanted Sizzix to do my die lines, so I went to them. So I knew Advantis was really known for their sourcing capabilities. They can really take and provide great product, really cool, with an excellent price. So that's why I went to them, and I'm like, I want to create this line, and they're like, well, what kind of theme are you going to have? What kind of products? I'm like, whatever ideas I have. And that's really how the whole ideology came. It's like, whatever idea, you never know what you're going to get.
All these new things from this show are my favorites. I really must say
it's really fun. Everything from charms and vintage buttons, curio knobs, these foundations. These are really cool little box feet. You simply glue them on a box or a canvas. Some of the pins, some ruler ribbon. This one's been really popular. This is actually called tissue tape. It's not paper tape, so not to be confused with paper tape that's out there. Well, this tissue tape's translucent.
I think I read that you got this idea from one of your international travels.
I was in Japan, and they had this really amazing tape that was translucent. It was just adhesive-backed tissue, and I'm like, we need to really bring this to the market. But their stuff was all very pastel, colorful, bold, and vibrant. So, of course, I needed to add my touch onto that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. And then the final thing, of course, is the Compendium of Curiosities. This is a new book that I did, and this book showcases everything Ranger, everything Alterations, everything Idea-ology. It's a 77-page hardcover book, but it's spiral bound, so you can lay it on your table and actually create from it. So everything in here, this isn't really kind of a how to make, but a how to create. So I go in and talk about all of my favorite tools, why they're my favorites, what you can do with them, the important things when it comes to choosing inks and paints. And then I go into everything Idea-ology. So it's like, you know, I own these weird little spinner things. What would you do with them? So I take you through and talk about my inspiration behind designing that product, give you ideas and inspiration on how to use it, and have photo references on what you can do with it.
That's very,
so the
very
whole
cool.
thing just gives you tons and tons of ideas. And of course, once you have all of your ideas, as you get through the book, I go into my favorite, of course, technique, using inks and paints. Take you through step by step on how to work with inks and paints. I break every single technique down in 6 steps.
Pictures are really
So
detailed.
if you're like an advanced crafter and you're like, I already know how to do it, 6 steps will be like, oh yeah, I remember that. But if you're a beginner and you've never tried it before, that's not going to be intimidating. You can say, wait a minute, I can get from here to here in 6 steps. So this goes through everything from ink and paint, everything I've ever shared on my blog, and then some. And then of course, after all the ideas, we follow up at the very end with some gallery shots. And the gallery shots are just basically a way to put it all together. So in the far back, I cover everything from scrapbook pages to cards to jewelries and tags. So hopefully this will inspire everyone to just be creative.
Absolutely. How did you know, when did you know, or how did you know what industry, that you wanted to be a part of this industry, or that how did you pick this industry?
Well, it is a sad story.
We don't believe that.
I don't know.
Well, in high school, I studied to be a CPA. That was my career goal. I wanted to be an accountant. Yeah, nothing to do with...
I don't see that.
Never taken an art class in my life, didn't do any college courses in art. I went from high school right into restaurant management, worked in the restaurant industry for many years, and I actually left the restaurant and wanted to find a job where I didn't have to be around people.
Oh,
True.
Well, I don't...
Yeah, that's kind of a...
No, so I got a job at my local craft store because, to be quite honest, a male in a craft store, it's pretty safe for us, you know. People don't talk to us. I could be standing right there next to a coworker and a customer will come right in, walk right by me and ask my coworker, where do I find this? And I was like, oh, it's a dream. So, but my store manager wanted me to go down and take a class on learning about rubber stamping to develop a department, because I was really doing more of the displays and kind of the merchandising. And so I really didn't want to go at first. In fact, I threatened to quit if I had to go. But I ended up going with my coworker, and we sat in the back of the room. And I took like an all-day workshop with a very talented artist. Her name is Judy Ross. And she just kind of changed the way I thought about this whole industry. It wasn't just about stamping a teddy bear and coloring it in with a pencil. It was, you know, whatever your style is, you can embrace it with these tools. And I think that was the whole bug for me. And I think that was my mission, because a lot of times, you know, when you look at the media and you look at all of these magazines, everyone tries to be perfect every time. They see that sample and they're like, I want to make it, and I want to make it just like that. And they're so caught up in that they forget to have fun and just be themselves and embrace their imperfections. And so slowly I teamed up with Ranger and just started developing products that I thought would be really fun and easy for people to use.
Well, you've kind of passed that down. You've inspired me for sure.
Well,
because
good. Thanks.
You really did let me see that you can just be yourself.
That's right.
You don't have to have these cookie cutter type projects.
That's right. And there's nothing wrong with inspiration. I mean, that's really key. You need that starting point. So you need those blogs and the website and the magazines to kind of inspire you. But I want people to know that they can also put their own spin on it, and it's okay if it's not exactly perfect.
Well, and I must say, I don't think you got away from being away from people. You have people blogging it.
This is a whole new world. This is not like the restaurant side of it. I mean, creative people are just so giving and so excited about sharing the ideas. So I couldn't be more blessed by being part of it.
Wonderful. Do you have anything else to show us, Tim?
This is it, really.
Okay.
All right, wonderful.
Well, that's plenty for us to digest and create with. We're overwhelmed and excited to get in all of our studios and play. So
2010 is going to be a great year for creativity.
It is for us too.
Thanks very much. We appreciate it.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.